Hello and welcome to Update 1 on Tropical Storm 6A as of 3 o'clock UTC. Here it is, winds of 45 miles per hour, pressure of 999 millibars this December the 3rd. The storm is a Stage 3 on the CDPS scale, as you can see here. Wind speed not really the high threat. This is going to be primarily a rainfall event. This will be impacting Somalia in the end, and you will be seeing a cone of uncertainty relatively soon on just where this could impact. Hitting Africa is the current expectation from this storm. We'll see what does happen. Considerable damage is what that Stage 3 on the CDPS means. As you can see right here, here's the storm's wind field. You can see basically the northwestern side being the only side producing any sort of significant tropical storm force winds at this time. And you can see again that considerable damage that the storm again is headed towards the African peninsula. It's kind of interesting. We don't normally see storms at this low of a latitude, and we are certainly going to be keeping a close eye on it over the next few days. Not expected to get too strong, but again, this is primarily going to be a rainfall event. So how far away is it from Eel? It's 480 miles. From Zeta, it's 545 miles, and from Telex, 571 miles. You can see it's about 500 miles away from shore, but it's still got a few days to develop before it does get there. There are no alerts in effect at this time for any land areas at this time, although that could change with time. Over the next couple of days, we will be keeping you updated on that as the situation does progress. Sea surface temperatures are going to be just fine for the storm, being around 26 degrees Celsius by the time it does get to land, although right now it's in 27 to 28 degrees, so sea surface temperatures are not going to be an issue for it. It's probably going to be more of a wind shear and dry air thing. But you can see Cyclone 6A here. This is the cone of uncertainty. So currently on the cone, we are expecting it to make landfall in about 72 hours or so. Peak intensity still at 45 miles per hour, which is basically its current intensity. And you'll see why we think this in just a moment. Model guidance really not intensifying the storm at all at this point. But yeah, it looks like we have about 72 to 96 hours before the storm does impact land, and it's pretty much expected to stall over the next 12 to 24 hours before it really does start getting a move on. So here are the models. You can see all of them really not taking it above maybe 50-55 miles per hour. The H-Wharf, the only one taking it to any significance in intensity, just making it a high-end tropical storm. The rest of them keeping it a pretty low-end tropical storm up until landfall. GFS even weakening it off within the next 24 hours. Here's wind shear. Wind shear is going to remain moderate for this storm at this time, but we'll see what happens. The storm looks like it's going to be pretty moderate in wind shear according to the GFS. We'll see what happens there. Interesting how it weakens it though. Sea surface temperature is supposed to be favorable by all models, and relative humidity favorable enough, especially with all the convection going around it. You can see a generally good consensus on track, CTCX, as always, being the outlier, and the H-Wharf and GFS being in pretty good agreement here. So here's the latest satellite imagery. Two blobs of convection really merging together right now, but if you look closely, you can see some rotation within there. Those minus 90 cloud tops certainly making the storm look impressive. We'll be keeping you updated over the next few days. You can follow our outlets. First of all, the website, force13.com, with new articles coming out all the time for your reading pleasure about all things weather. YouTube.com/force13 with our tropical weather bulletins, animations, and tropical updates. You can also find us on Facebook with more information on those things. And then also on Twitter. We have the US branches and AU branches on there as well, but you can see the URL below. Teespring.com/store/force13. That's where you can find things like the Smug Mug to buy. And finally, the Patreon. Patreon.com/force13, where you can support the project and help it become even better.